Hello and welcome back. Today is day 12 and I have returned to be unemployed. So, for the past few days I've been carrying on with what I showed before, the expense tracker. Boom, GitHub open. So I'll show what I did. It's gonna be a pretty quick video. Because why not? So here we have our code. All of this is the same, except there's now extra features with listing, for example, where you can list a certain month or a category, right? And then it can check what this category or month is and stuff like this, and then only return them expenses for that type of thing. We also have, instead of, we split display summary up as well, so it can also display a summary of, um, you know, I wonder if I could build this actually in amount. Yeah, so it can display a summary or like the total sum of expenses of a certain month or category. Just like the roadmap said, if I go back to this. So it says da 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 specific month of the year, category. I haven't actually got the categories working, but then it also uses a CSV file, which I'll show in a sec. And then I also want to do a whole budget thing, so I can actually start using this for myself. And like, don't mind that. Who's that guy? What a great channel. Um, so yeah, I can start using it and maybe put like a salary in there and stuff, so you can calculate loads of stuff. Anyway, delete is the same, and then we have saving. So we create a file, a file name, which is just called expenses.csv. And then I found out defer is just like when you do this, it opens it up somewhere, opens it up in the system, but then you can just close it after you've assigned it because we don't need to have it, you know what I mean? And then make a new CSV writer, and we loop through all of the objects in the expenses thing. Or yeah, like this for this method, you go through it. You get what I mean? And then you convert the float to a string, you convert the time to a string, you create a row which has the description, the amount, and then the time, and then we write that to a row. We write that row to the CSV file, and then if there is an error, return the error. And then this is just like saying that you got to do. I don't know why it kind of did it itself when I did CSV writer. So then we have the more interesting bit, I'd say, main. So I've been experimenting with subcommands. So here we have an add subcommand, view subcommand, delete subcommand, update subcommand, and a summary. So if you really look here, if I actually, is there a better way to do this? Can I go command line, command prompt? Is there a way to like open up a clear one, like just got nothing on there? Let's do Notepad. There we go. So quickly add. Boom. So up this font real quick. So what you do is we have the app. This is the command line right here, right? See it like that. So the app name expense, and then you do the subcommand. So you do add, or there's view or summary, right? And then you do here. So you do add and then description. So here we have main command, as in like the name of it, subcommand, and then a flag for this subcommand. So if you look at the code here, we have word on there. Deselect it. I have no idea what I've just done. Guess it's probably fine. Whatever. So yeah, you can add, you create a new flag set, it says there, and then you add flags to the subcommand. So we have an add one or a description one, sorry, the add description, and we have an amount. So this would work by if you want to add a new expense, you do this. You go description, you say breakfast out, and then you do amount, and you say it was £5.55, right? And then that'll just work. And there's another one, so we could do expense and then delete, and then we do ID 1, or we could do expense view month June, right? So you can see we have main command, subcommand, flag details, right? So yeah, you have to do the flag details in the type that is given. So description was a string, so I can't do if I did this, it wouldn't work. It's got to be surrounded in thingy-majiggies, speech marks. But then this is a float, so it does work. Makes sense. So after we do that, we do a switch through os-args1. So os-args1 is the arguments of the command line. So here is os-args0, right? This is the first command that you put in. So os-args1 is the second thing, or the first thing in an index here. So we switch through all of them, which can be add, delete, view, summary, or update. So we switch that. If it's add, if it's view, if it's delete, do this. So if it's add, we try to, then you have to pass everything from the second argument onwards. So the second argument onwards into that flag, and then try to add if there's an error. View, try to view. Delete, try to delete if it doesn't work. And then you can have, there's a delete all flag. So if I say, yeah, if I do delete all, it would just delete all, obviously. Right? And then update works in the same way, where you have to say, say this. So I want to update. Oh god, I've just deafened. That was weird. If I want to update the first thing, I do ID1, and then I do amount. If I want to update the amount, 100, right? But that wouldn't change the description of it, because the description is still like description equals this when you don't have, because it's the default, right? See, look here. What's that saying? Update, yeah, description. We have the name of the flag, default values. Then we can check if this is if this is passed in. Then we don't want to change the description, right? And then you can also change this to vice versa, description, and then Bob. You know what I mean? And then the amount will equal 0. Then you know that you're not going to add an expense which is 0, so you can just check that. So after some things are done, oh wait, I haven't actually added saving yet onto this, which is fine. I just, like, after anything that actually changes the, oh, I have added saving. Saving there. Listing doesn't save it. Delete. This doesn't save it yet, which is fine. Update. Doesn't save it yet. So yeah, anything that actually does change it will have to be saved afterwards. And I had all my old code here, which used a switch through the flags, and I think that having it in subcommand splits it up a lot nicer, so you can have different things for different things. And then we have our load CSV function, which is called right at the start. Literally the first line after the file name. This should be a constant. Oh, see, this should be a constant right here actually. I can change that now. Okay. Const file name string equals expense.csv, like that, right? I assume that's probably right. Also, I've been using git like normal, like actual git, not GitHub. Or obviously this is GitHub, but I've been using git to push everything. So anyway, if we want to load our CSV file, we create a new list, or a new list of expenses, right? Also, a quick little change here. We have type expenses, which is a slice of type expense, right? But we had to put a capital E so it exports it, because we just had to, you know what I mean? So then you have to put a capital on all of these so that they can be exported to when you pull it in here, you can actually access it, right? So anyway, in this load thing, we try and open this file name. If there's an error, then return the error. Wait, no. If there's an error, then do something. Just return no list. Basically, if there's no file, then return empty, which is fine. And then we create a new reader which reads all of the things in the CSV and adds it to this records, which is just a list of CSV rows. You know what I mean? So we can loop through that, and then check for every record. We add the description, we have the amount, we have the time. So then we can turn the amount, which was a string when it's stored in the CSV, into a float, and then we have the time, which was stored as a string as well. We can pass it into a time, which parse does of this format. I want to pass this in. So yeah, because this is the format that we saved into the thing. And then we add data to an expense struct, and then we append that to the list at the start, and then we loop that for every row that's in the CSV. Oh my god. Don't tell me I've just been going through with a flipping notepad on the middle of the screen. Some people, man. Some people. You know, if you heard everything I said, I'm not going to edit this because why not? If you heard everything I said and then looked through everything that I scroll through now, you'll understand everything. You know what I mean? Damn, I'm such a plonk for that. It's okay. Yeah. Look at this. So that's what I've been doing. I think it's quite interesting. I really do like the subcommands. I'm kind of I was doing a lot yesterday. I'm really glad for that. So I'm just going to keep cracking on with this. I'm going to try and... What I want to do is I want to have, like... the expense thing would be... If it was like... If you were looking at it as a whole app, the expense would be a third of it. And then... Or like, it would be a feature of this finance app, right? So you have your expenses and you have your budget, or like you have your investments or something, right? Or you have like your savings, yeah. Savings, expenses, and just like an overview. So you can go in there, you can add an expense, and then you can go in the savings, you can add savings, you've got a set amount, it'll tell you how much you have in so many years, you can work with like investments and stuff. That's like the goal, but I don't really know how to do that in Go, but I'll just keep going. And also seen doing this with like some HTTP things, so I don't really know yet. But I could have this on a on a website, which would be different to running through the command line, but all of these would be the same thing. Instead, they'll just work through buttons, I guess, because this works through the command line here, but it would just be different. So yeah, that'll be it. I'm back now, so we locked in. A little bit locked out today, but that's okay. I'm not really too mad about it because I did get a lot done anyway. Also, sorry about the notepad covering the whole screen. So yeah. See you tomorrow.